Here's a question. Have you ever participated in a political survey? I mean, has a pollster ever called you on the phone and asked you questions about who you're going to vote for in an upcoming election, or what your political affiliation is, or your opinion on current events and certain political issues? Did you answer the pollster's questions? Were you honest? Did you check the survey results once they were published to see how it came out? I guess that was more than one question. But this is just something that was on my mind because yesterday I got a phone call, and it was the first time I'd ever taken part in a political survey. They didn't ask me who I was voting for, though. They asked me a bunch of other questions. But anyway, I look at a lot of poll results, survey results, election polls, and you shouldn't do that. If you don't, then I'd advise you not to start, because if you're like me, then you tend to obsess over them, and when you look at the individual responses and you try and synthesize them, you'll notice there appear to be a lot of contradictions in the results. Take this recent Fox poll. This was a Fox News poll conducted earlier in the month. Now, it found there were some interesting things in the poll. For one, when asked, please tell me whether you have a generally favorable or unfavorable opinion of Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, 52% of those polled said they had a generally favorable impression of Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. They were both 52% favorable. 46% reported having an unfavorable opinion of Barack Obama. Only 40% said they had an unfavorable opinion of Mitt Romney. Then there was this. This interested me. 62% said they're not satisfied with the way things are going. And when asked, given current economic problems and thinking about government's role in the economy, which best describes your view?
64% of the Fox poll say the government is the problem, while 23% say it's the solution. By a 12-point margin, voters think the president's policies have made things worse.
Yet somehow 37% believe the Obama administration has made the economy better. Along those same lines, 37% of those polled said they're better off than they were 4 years ago. 48% said worse off. And this is interesting, 13% said same as, which I'm not sure why no and same as are separate things on here. Because if you're the same as you were 4 years ago, then the answer is no, I'm not better off than I was 4 years ago. But in any event, over 60% of those polled said they're not better off than they were 4 years ago. And that's a big deal. Yet in spite of all this, when asked if the presidential election were held today, then how would you vote if the candidates were, and name the candidates, President Obama leads Mitt Romney 45% to 41%. And 50% said the president deserves to be reelected. This despite the fact that 47% of respondents said they approve of the job Barack Obama is doing as president versus 49% who said they disapprove. And this is something that I don't have a graphic for. When asked, do you believe Barack Obama's policies are making the government bigger and more expensive, smaller and less expensive, or haven't his policies changed the size of government? 55% said bigger and more expensive. Only 10% said smaller and less expensive. 28% said same as. Now, I will say this. They did ask the question in the poll, if it were Obama, Biden versus Romney, Rice. In other words, if the president and vice president were running against Mitt Romney and Condoleezza Rice, then who would you vote for? And those tickets are tied at 46% apiece. The same percentage said they would vote for Obama, Biden as would vote for Romney, Rice. So that seems relevant. But if 64% understand that given present economic conditions, government is the problem rather than the solution to the problem, 62% are dissatisfied with the way things are going in the country today, and 55% say Barack Obama's policies have made the government bigger and more expensive, then it's simple math that some of those people who say they'd vote for President Obama, to re-elect President Obama, and some of the people who said he deserves re-election must necessarily believe all of those things I just listed. So I just have to ask the voters out there, if you believe that government is the problem rather than the solution to the problem, if you understand that President Obama's policies have made the government bigger and more expensive, which they have, if you're dissatisfied with the way things are going in the country today, then first of all, why would you be undecided at this point? And if you're voting for Obama, then why? What the heck is wrong with you that you would be voting for Obama to re-elect him if you believe all of those things? I mean, good Lord. And 50% think he deserves to be re-elected? Some of those people have got to be that, you're worse off than you were 4 years ago, or you've seen no change. What is with people who understand how bad things are, and yet they're voting to re-elect the president? Or even if you're undecided at this point, why is this even a difficult choice for you? I just really like to get some answers. But of course, this is just one poll. However, there's a lot of polls I've seen where the responses that people give tend to contradict one another. I've actually blogged about this. There's an article on my blog you should read if you haven't already. But beyond that, I just really like some answers. If you're one of these people who believes you're no better off than you were 4 years ago, you understand that President Obama's policies have made the government bigger and more expensive, you believe government is the problem, not the solution to the problem, and you think the country's on the wrong track, then why are you undecided? Or if you're voting for President Obama, then why in God's name would you vote for more bad stuff? I mean, you've got a good alternative. Anywho, that is all. I will post some more videos, but that's enough for this. Be sure to check out my blog, the blog I mentioned. Would like to have your comment on that article or any of the other articles on my blog. Also, please follow me on Twitter at RightWingGenius. And until next time, don't mess with the right-wing genius.